Okay, so recording is on. So I think all of you can see the screen clearly, right? So as I mentioned earlier, in the very last time we met, if you got any, if you are getting any interference when I'm talking, just let me know, right? And if you need to clarify anything, you still can ask from any language that you prefer, right? Yeah, so still people are getting joined. So just give me a minute. Uh, right. So last week we talked about, not the last week actually, it's the last time we met, we talk about how the data is arranged and what kind of data, what are the things or what are the examples of the data which we are involved in, and how these data are being processed to create the information, right? And we draw this diagram, and as well as we talk about the places or the examples where the data are hidden, or like where the data are being recognized inside some particular uh, things that we have given, something like NIC, and how we are going to extract the information which are hidden under that, right? So according to that, we talk about what is the decompositions, Venkirima, of the NIC. So we recognize several different components, or like the several different factors regarding the national identity card number, or the NIC, which is the old one, right? And yeah, I mentioned you about the place where you can find the recordings as well, right? So for your information, I'm going to show it to you once more, right? මොකද සමහර අය අහලා තිබුණා කොහොමද recordings refer කරන්න කියලා. So I'm going to show it to you one more time, right? So the yeah, the website that you need to visit is what you can see, what you saw in my screen, which is the starlabs.lk, right? You can visit to that site. This is my website, which is maintained by me, and go to the lesson recording and go to the Nanapetha recording, right? So when you're here, just on this drop down, just go to the Nanapetha recording. So when you move to the Nanapetha recordings, yeah, my pen is troubling for the moment. Just a second. Just a second. I need to refresh this thing. Yeah, but I don't have the mouse with me, so it's the pen that I am searching with, so it is not allowing me to go through. Hold on. I'll try to use my tab key. Yeah. So go to the lesson recording, go to the Nanapetha recording, right? So Nanapetha recording will load a web page like this. So like under that, there are like many different, yeah. Yes, someone is asking me to like talking a little louder. Is it the same at everyone's end? Can't you hear me clearly? Or is it just that particular person's end? Can others confirm whether you can hear me at your end or not, clearly or not? මාව clearly ඇහෙනවද පුතේ ඔය පැත්තට? අනිත් කට්ටිය චුට්ටක් confirm කරන්න. මම සාමාන්‍යයෙන් කතා කරන්නේ මේ මට්ටමින් අනිත් අයටත් මාව clearly ඇහෙනව මදීද? Alright, okay. Yeah. Dua, you have to just go through some settings regarding your device, Dua. The one who has asked me to increase the voice. කියන්නේ මම සාමාන්‍යයෙන් කතා කරන්නේ ටිකක් සද්දෙන් බලන්නකෝ හරියනවද කියලා. Right, so in this page, how did we came here? To go to the lesson recording, and we were searching for the Nanopetha recordings. Inside the lesson recording, go to the Nanopetha recording, right? So when you visit to the Nanopetha recording, in there, like there are different kinds of players, like which is category according to the grade, right? So like A-level 22, A-level 21, likewise it will go on. And at the very bottom, you can find the grade 10 sessions. So now here I just have a one player for the moment. So by next week, but not actually by next week, by tomorrow, there will be two players by indicating grade 10 Sinhala sessions and grade 10 English sessions. So you have to refer the grade 10 English sessions if you need, right? So you can use this playlist button, which is at the left hand side, right? With these three bars, right? So just click it and you can see the lessons that I have uploaded to this particular site, right? So the latest one will be the top one, right? So you can refer it according to the date, and Sinhala medium students will be having a separate player, and an English medium student will be having a separate player for them, right? So you can refer it from this particular website. So the website address is, I have written it right over here. So it's starlabs.lk, right? Okay, so and before I go forward, I wish everyone a very happy new year and a very healthy one, right? Let's hope this 2021 is going to be the best year of ours, right? So then let's continue with the lesson, right? So I hope most of you have received your textbook, but in the Sinhala medium class, even they didn't had, some of them didn't have the book with them. So I'm opening this for your reference, right? Right, so then we are going to continue. So in this lesson, as we discussed earlier, right, we were talking about the data and information and how an information is formed through the data. And today we are going to talk about what's an information system is, right? So before I move to the information system, I just need you to have the concentration to the term which we call system. System එකක් කියන්නේ මොකක්ද කියලා බලමු, right? Now in the very second line, which I'm going to highlight in this document, it says a system is a combination of components that work together to fulfill a task, right? Now remember this particular expression, right? So it is the definition of a system, and let me tell you what is a system first, right? So system, if we take it generally, we can find many different systems in our surroundings. Even if you think about your body, if you think about a human body itself, it has many different systems, right? So we have respiratory systems, we have blood circulation systems, we have digestive system, right? There are many. So, and when it comes to the like, if you think about your science lessons, like you are given different kinds of system regarding the even regarding the human body, even in the nature, like there are many different things, many different systems that you are introduced with. So each and every system in the world consists of majorly three parts, which we call the input, process, and the output, right? So that means if you take a system, we can generally indicate a system using these three components, right? So which we call, excuse me, input and processors, or just process, and output, right? So think about the respiratory system. So respiratory system, inputs one, it's the general air, it's the air that we are going to breathe in. So it's going to be an input to our respiratory system. So when that air reaches to the lungs, what will happen? Oxygen will be given, or like the filtering process will happen. That's the process happening inside that system. So the oxygen will be given to the blood, and the rest of the air will be breathed out by us, right? So input was the air, the normal air surrounding us, and the process is the filtering part, and the output, there were many outputs. The oxygen were output to the blood, and the rest of the air, that means like the carbon dioxide, nitrogen, and all these things were breathed out, right? So it has these major components, which is input, process, and output, right? Okay, so now think about a computer, right? So if you think about a computer, using the keyboard, using the mouse, and using scanners and all these things, they are called the input devices. So we are tend to give inputs using those things. So when inputs are being taken, that is being processed inside the computer and given a relevant output. Now, if you think about a key pressing event, like you have a keyboard and you are going to press any key, like let's say we are going to press the key A, the key which holds the letter A. So when we press that key, it generates an input. A key and a key press kara. So then what will happen? That particular signal through the keyboard circuit will be flown to the processor of the computer and will process, okay, and it will understand the user has pressed a key, so I have to do the relevant output regarding that particular event. So if you are taken a word processing software, අපිට වචන type කරන්න පුළුවන් software එකක් නම් අපි open කරගෙන ඉන්නේ. So when we press the A, we can see the A character on the monitor. So pressing A is the input, processing it, or like understanding what is happening, what the signal is the process, and displaying the character A on the monitor is the output. So it works on the same model: input, process, and output. So in that case, we can say computer is also working as a system. So likewise, when a software or a particular device is made, or like is given the capability of inputting and processing and outputting, is called a system. So if it can input data, process, and output information, it is called an information system. People just excuse ඔමින්න මම ක්ලාස් එකේ ඉන්නේ. දුවල පුතාලා මට තප්පරයක් දෙන්න. මම ඉස්කෝලේත් එක්ක පොඩි කෝල් එකක විනාඩියක් දෙන්න. Right. Sorry for the disturbance. I have to attend to school matters. They are having sectional meetings and parent meetings for the moment. So sorry for the interference. Okay. So we were talking about this the system. When the system is there, so any system indicates what the input, what is the process, and what is the output is. So when we take the computer itself is performing this particular uh, uh, flow, which is getting the inputs, processing it, and giving you the outputs. So we can say it is චමත් රෙකෝඩින් එක Star Labs වල හැමදාම තියෙනවා. හැමදාටම ගිහිල්ලා බලන්න පුළුවන් පුතේ, no problem. Right, so it is acting as a system. So when it comes to the a software, a particular software, if it can takes the input, if it can take data as the input, and if it can process and generates the output like information, that is called an information system. So that is what we are trying to illustrate here. Basically, what is the information system and why we call it an information system, and how a computer can act as an information system, right? Later in the grade 11, you will get to know about the systems. There is a separate lesson which is called system development life cycle, where we are going to talk about how this system is being born and how it is being maintained, right? So in that lesson you'll get to know about the systems very well, but here we are just having a very rough knowledge about what is information system, what information system is, right? Okay. මේ කියපු දේවල් ටික පැහැදිලිද? ප්‍රශ්න තියෙනවද? මට people, I need the respond. Otherwise, if is it clear or not, just confirm whether it is clear or not, because I need the confirmation. Otherwise, like I'm feeling like I'm just telling the things to you people. Right, thank you. Yeah, how about the others? අනිත් අයට තේරෙනවද? ගැටලු තියෙනවා නම් කියන්න පුතේ, දෝල පුතාලා, so we can clear it and go. Right. Right. Chamat, පුතේ ආට සිංහලෙන්ද describe වෙන්න ඕනේ නැත්නම් ඉංග්‍රීසි වලින් ආයෙසරයක් කියන්න ඕනද කොහොමද? Right. Chamat, what we have talked is there are like every system contains three components, which is called the input, process, and output. So even when we consider the computer, we can find those three components there. So like they are getting data as the input, data are being processed, and information will be the output when we process the data in a meaningful manner, right? Like as a summary, that's what we talk about. And here, like to this particular thing, to this particular structure or the model is called a system, right? So like there are many ways of representing the system. Sometimes you can find inputs and outputs are outside the system, and process is only thing which is happening inside the system. එක ටිකක් advanced part එකක්. But when you take the model, it has these three components, which is inputs, process, and outputs. Right. Is it clear, Chamat? Right. Okay, so let's have some things copied down to your textbooks. So have the heading information system, and I want you to write down the highlighted part on the screen as the very first line, right? So then I'll tell you what to be written next, right? So the information system is the heading, the subheading. So copy down, a system is a combination of components that work together to fulfill a task. And it's better you remember the definition as well. Right? So if they ask what is a system, this is the definition that you need to give. Right? So once you're done with this highlighted part, this is the place where you have to have your second point. You may start it from this particular point, the purpose, from the word. The purpose of a system is to receive data, process and store them, and provide the result when required. That's your second line. Right? First line is the second line of the first paragraph. Next line is the one which I have highlighted on the screen. Just indicate me when you are done, right? Right, one is done. How about the others? Okay, seems everyone is done. All right, so you have to copy this particular diagram, which I have drawn right over here, this particular thing, to your textbook first. Then we are going to write another sentence. Then after, we are going to copy the diagram on your book, right? So first copy this down. Right. So once you are done with this, Chanuri, like Chandra is asking a very good question. Information system and system are two or one thing. Like Chandra's system is like the big picture, right? And information system is a subset of the systems. Like there can be many different systems though. Like when you take system, like respiratory system is also a system. Information system is also a system. Computer is also a system, right? Within a short period, we are going to talk about mobile phone is also a system, right? So the system is the bigger word, or like the big picture, or the bigger set. And information system is a subset, right? උපකුලකයක් කෑල්ලක් ඒ කියන්නේ ඒකේ වර්ගයක්. Got it? Right. All right, so if you are done with this thing, I want you to move to the textbook again. And I want you to copy this particular thing, right? Yeah, what you have to copy is this. Start it from here. Computer from this particular point. Yeah, and up to this point. And later, you have to copy down this particular diagram. Yes, yes. Isita neda? Isita Sanjana. Yes, Sanjana. Exactly. Like if you take an app, it's also acting as a system. Correct, Buddha? If you take any software, it's working as a system. පොඩි වෙනස්කමක් තියෙනවා, චූටි වෙනස්කමක් තියෙනවා. ඒක මම කියන්නම්. අපි දැන් ඊළඟට ඔය definition එක we are going to extract the definition and see, then you will understand what is the difference. මොකද software එහෙම වුණොත් අපිට like අපිට app එක කියලා කියන්නේ software එකක්. It's a software. Like අපි app එකට system එක කිව්වොත් නේද? ඇත්තටම අපිට software කියලා එකක් කියනනම් අමුතුවෙන් කියන්න අවශ්‍ය නැහැ නේද? We can generally call systems to everything. එතන පොඩි difference එකක් තියෙනවා, right? I'm going to tell you what it is, right? So once you copy this down, the people who are having their textbooks, just go to the page number 4 and copy the very top diagram. Others, I'm going to show it to you on the screen. Yeah, which is this. People, let me know when you're done. Sanjana, yes, Puda, what's the trouble? Right, ivarada kattiya? Yes, yes, yes. Chanuri, you can always ask the question. Just excuse me and just ask the question. Doesn't matter. All right. Chanuri, what's the question? Do you got a one? Right. All right. Okay. I prefer if you can send me the question via the chat. So it will be like not disturbing others when we are doing the things. But if it is a big one, like if it takes time for you to type, just on the mic and excuse and ask the question. Right. Doesn't matter. Right. So people, I'm going to take your concentration to this particular definition that we wrote. What is the definition? Look at the system definition. And it says a system is a combination of components that work together to fulfill a task. Now, here, let's clarify the things. It says a system is a combination of components. Now, I told you a little while ago, we are going to talk about a mobile phone and going to prove that mobile phone is a system. Now, according to the definition, it says a system is a combination of components that work together to fulfill a task. Now, what is the task that we are going to fulfill using the mobile phone? Do we have any task, specific task that we are going to fulfill using the mobile phone? Yeah, any suggestions? You can on the mic and just tell, right? Yeah, what's the task that we are going to fulfill through the mobile? Yes, Chandri, that's correct. It's the communication. Generally, it's the communication, right? If we are having a call, it's the communication. If we are sending an SMS, it's a communication. But it's not the communication when we are doing the like the gameplay, kind of a thing. But generally, the mobile phone is something we use to do the communication. So that is what you call the task. And according to the definition, it says system is a combination of components that works together to fulfill the task. So to fulfill the communication, what are the components that works together in a mobile phone? Any suggestions, people? What are the components that works together to fulfill the communication when it comes to the mobile phone? Yes. Give me the suggestions. You can suggest, right? Don't worry about whether they are correct or wrong, because you are learning things. කියන්න බලන්න මොනවාද ෆෝන් එකක තියෙන components. ෆෝන් එක අතට ගත්තම ඔයගලන්ට components පේනවා. Yes, so like apps, yes, apps. Contact list, okay. What else? Software පැත්ත ගැනම විතරක් හිතන්න එපා. Think about the hardware side as well. SIM card, very good, Chamat. SIM card. What else? RAM, yes, the random access memory. CPU, battery, yes, SD cards. Well done, Binadi. Display, yes, Vinet, display. So there are many different components. See, so you got a display, you got buttons, you got a microphone, you got a speaker, you got a battery, you got a circuit, right? You got a camera, yes. Like there are many different components. If you are doing a video call, camera is an essential thing, right? So there are many different components that works together. They have to work together. Without a SIM card, we won't be having the connection. Without the camera, we won't be able to see. Without the keyboard, we won't be able to type. Without the display, we can't see to whom that we are dialing, right? So they have to work together to fulfill the task. The task is communicating. So according to the definition, we can say mobile phone is a system. And I don't remember the person who have told me the apps as an example. Now you can understand why apps are not going to be a system, because apps are like part of the components. App itself, it's not going to be a system, right? Because it says its system is a combination of components that work together to fulfill a task, right? Got it? තේරුණාද? කොහොමද අපි සිස්ටම් එකක් ක්ලැරිෆයි කරගන්නේ කියලා? Right, great. Now I'm going to give you a task. Now I'm saying bicycle. Now prove me whether the bicycle is a system or not. Right? So to prove whether the bicycle, I'm talking about the foot bicycle. right? Where we have to paddle, right? Not a motorbike. Like if you are, right? So you have to prove whether the bicycle is a system or not. So to prove that, you should prove me what are the components, how they are interacting or like working together to fulfill which task, right? So first of all, what is the task? What is the task of the foot bicycle? What is the task that we are going to fulfill through the foot bicycle? Traveling. Well done, Chanubi. Yes, the traveling, right? Or in other words, transportation, right? So to fulfill that task, does the bicycle has components? What are the components that the basic bicycle is having? It has a handle, yes. It has tires, that's right. What else does it have? Paddles. Cogwheels are there, right? Cogwheels. Cogwheels are there. What else? It has oil, definitely. Brakes, yes, Chamat. Brakes are there. So there are many different components. Chain, yes, right? So those components will work together to fulfill the task, which is the transportation, right? So likewise, now you can understand, like if you take the components around you, right? The components around you, you can see many different systems around you, right? So remember the definition. You need the definition when you are answering it. And if you are given the chance to prove whether this particular thing is a system or not, this is the way that you are going to like what, recognize or like to clarify how the things are going to be a system or not. Yes, that's right. That's right, Sanjana. That's what that I was talking about. The apps are not going to be a system because we are like directing the apps, and apps are going to be one of the components with them, right? It's not the entire system, right? All right. Well done, people. So I'm moving forward. So then after we are going to talk about what are the systems that we are facing in day-to-day life, right? So the one of the very familiar and very renowned system, which is called the ATM, automatic teller machines, right? So I think you have the experience, right? Now, if you think about the system, you can always clarify what are the inputs, what will be the process, and what is going to be the outcome or the output, right? So if you think about an ATM, the ATM card is the one we use to input data into the ATM system, right? So the ATM card itself is going to be a input. Actually, it's not actually the card, the data which is on the card. If you think about an ATM card, now ATM, then ගොඩක් ATM cards වෙනස් වෙලා තියෙනවා තියෙන විදිහෙන්. Now if you think about still you can use these things, still there are banks which is providing these type of ATM cards which has a magnetic stripe at the back of it. So this particular magnetic stripe is the one which contains the data, right? This is the back side, right? So inputting the ATM card means you are going to read this particular you are going to read the data inside this particular magnetic stripe, right? So this is what we call magnetic stripes, right? So nowadays these things are being changed to what? Now ATM cards are having a chip inside it, neither. There are this chip which has some some circuit lines on it. So now what they are doing is they just one of what they are doing is they're just inserting this particular, I'm sorry, inserting this particular card into the card reader, into a card reader to read this particular chip, right? But earlier, not actually earlier, nowadays still you can find the cards which are with the magnetic stripes. නේද ගෙදර දැන් අද ගෙදරදී අම්මගෙන් දැන් පාඩම ඉවරනයින් පස්සේ අම්මලා තාත්තලා ගාව තියෙනවා ATM cards, different kinds of cards are there, right? So just ඉල්ලගෙන බලන්න whether it is having a magnetic stripe or a chip or both, right? ගොඩක් cards වල දෙකම එනවා දැන්, right? But the new technology is the chip, right? This contains many different data than the magnetic stripe. So anyway, to the ATM machine, it's the ATM card is going to give some of the inputs, and again, pin is a must. නේද? ATM card එක දාන්නත් ඕනේ, pin එක දෙන්නත් ඕනේ keyboard එකකින්. So what do you mean by the pin? PIN. PIN has a meaning. PIN means personal identification number. That's why that is what extracted by the pin. Personal identification number, right? This is something extra knowledge, right? You don't need to remember what it means by the pin, right? So what ATM machine does, or the ATM system does, when you are inserting the card into the ATM system, it reads the data from the magnetic strip or from the chip. And when you are entering the pin, it will cross-check. It will cross-check, is it the correct pin for this particular ATM card? If those things are correct, then you are given the system, right? So in inserting the ATM card and inputting the pin are considered as the data that we are feeding into the ATM system. And cross-checking, or like the matching the pin with the relevant data, is the thing we call as a process. Then after presenting us the information system or the ATM system is what we call the output that we are going to get from that particular ATM system, right? Got it? Terunada? And Sanjana, about your question, Sanjana Haratiyanawa, is a security system one of the system? It is, Puta, it is, because security system has cameras. It will take the inputs, and DVR, the device which processing that images or the videos through that, and it will get stored, or you can see it through the through another monitor kind of a thing. So it is working as a system, right? So there are input processing, output as well, and there are components work together to fulfill a task, which is the security, right? So it can be considered as a system as well, right? Okay, lamai mata confirm කරන්න ATM card system, ATM machine එක system එකක් කියන්නේ අයි කියන එක තේරුණාද කියන එක? Yeah, great. Okay, moving to the second example, it says about the fingerprint reader. Now this fingerprint reader, generally it used to record the attendance, the arrival time, and the departing departing time, right, or the departure. So what actually happens is, now fingerprint, for a fingerprint machine, the input is going to be our fingerprint, right? එතකොට fingerprint machine එක අපේ fingerprint එක කොහොමද අඳුනගන්නේ? එයාව ගෙනල්ලා high කරපු ගමන් does that fingerprint machine contains our fingerprints? No, it doesn't. So when the mechanic or the technical guy is fixing that fingerprint machine, the very first task is to scan all the fingerprints of that particular organization. මුලින්ම high කරනකොට හැමෝම ඇවිල්ලා තමන්ගේ fingerprint එක scan කරලා යන්න ඕනේ. So in that particular process, the machine get to know about the fingerprints. Then later, those fingerprints will be used to recognize the arrival time of a particular person and the departure time of the particular person. So when that happens, the input is going to be our fingerprint. So when we place our finger, one of the fingers, like there is no rule that you have to always scan the second finger of yours, right? Not the thumb, the other one, right? Or කැමති finger එකක් scan කරන්න පුළුවන්. There is no rule that you have to scan your index finger always, right? But index finger එක lazy because අපිට එයාව මේ handle කරන්න lazy නිසා, right? So what's actually happening is when you are placing your index finger to the scanner, that the red color light is the scanner. It's something like a barcode scanner, right? So when you place it there, that particular scanner will read the pattern of your fingerprint, and that pattern will be matched with the database. Now that all the fingerprints are there inside the machine, so the given fingerprint or the scanned fingerprint will be compared with the fingerprints inside. So if a match found, then it recognizes, okay, this particular person is there, right? And when a person puts his fingerprint for the very first time, that will be recorded as the arrival time. And when he or she puts their fingerprint at the very last time, is recorded as the departure time. In between, you can have many number of scannings. That doesn't matter. මුලින්ම තියපු එක තමයි ආව කියලා අරගන්නේ. අන්තිමට තියෙන fingerprint එක තමයි ගියා කියලා සලකන්නේ. Right? එක පුද්ගලයෙක් අරගත්තා. Right? So it is working as the very same way. නේද? There is data, which is the fingerprint. There is processing, which is the matching, right? The scanning and the matching. And there are the outputs, so which records the arrival time. When it plays for the second time, is recorded as the departure time, right? So that is how the fingerprint machine is working as a system. And thirdly, which is a very popular one in these days, neda? QR codes. කොබලන්න QR code එක scan කරලා දැන් ගියපු තැන recognize කරගත්ත කට්ටිය? Who had that experience? Now we can see these QR codes in everywhere nowadays, right? When we are visiting some place, either we have to write down the details or we have to scan the QR. So as an ICT student, don't go for write down the things. If you got a phone, just scan the QR, right? So how we are going to scan the QR? Some mobile devices have, it is inbuilt with the camera app open karam. You automatically is receiving the QR code scanner, or otherwise you have to download a separate application. There are many different applications by saying QR code readers, right? So using that, you can scan the code. So scanning the code means that particular device, your mobile phone, is gathering data from that QR. Right? So it is the input. And then later, the gathered data will be processed, and that means recognized from which particular website is given from these type of things. Then that is what we call processing, which is the decoding process. So once it's decoded the data, it will derive you, or it will direct you to the particular website. දැන් අපි මේ දවස්වල සුපර් මාකට් එකකට හරි නැත්නම් මොකක් හරි ඕගනයිසේෂන් එකකට යන්න ගියොත් we always see a QR code at the doorstep, නේද? So once we scan it, we will be given the message, shall I move to this particular website or not? So once we tap on that, we will be redirected to a particular website, and it displays a message, okay, you have arrived at this place on this day and this particular time. When you are leaving that place, either you'll scan the QR code again, or just swipe the button which is on that web page, right? Experience එක අරගන්න. You should have that experience, right? Then නැත්නම් අද නේද අම්මගේ හැට තාත්තගේ හරි ෆෝන් එක ඉල්ලගෙන just try to scan a QR code අපි කොහොමද QR code එකක් හොයාගන්නේ ගෙදර හොයාගන්න නැත්නම් අපිට easily කරන්න පුළුවන් දෙයක් තියෙනවා right just take another device නේද computer එකෙන් හරි කමන්නේ internet එකට ගිහිල්ලා just type a QR code right you are given many different QR codes right see එතකොට මේන් එකක් ඔයාලට ස්කෑන් කරලා බලත හැකි මේවා ස්කෑන් කරාම එක එක websites වලට power derive වෙන්නේ right and you can create a QR code by your own දැන් මට ඕන නම් මට මගේ වෙබ්සයිට් එකට යන්න QR code එකක් හදන්න පුළුවන් right so ඒක හදාගත්තයින් පස්සේ මම ඒක කාට හරි දුන්නොත් එයාට address එක type කර කර ඉන්න අවශ්‍ය නැහැ he can scan the code and directly move to the website without typing anything right so that is how the QR code is working so we can see the components neither the data is being taken from the QR code it will decode which is which category under the process and it will direct to the particular website yes Risara that's a very practical thing we can scan QR codes in WhatsApp web yes then WhatsApp web එකට එනකොට WhatsApp අරගත්තම first thing that they are saying is go to the WhatsApp application in your mobile phone open it and go to this particular place and have the QR code scanning then only the mobile phone and the WhatsApp web is synchronized එදෙන හරියට sync වෙන්නේ ඒ වෙලාවට then after you will be able to use it one additional device inside a one additional device right very good example Risara right okay so moving down it's a very practical example that they have given as the fourth example which is the processing business information so which which is a very frequent thing which is done by the computer so we are getting some data some serious data and it is processed through the computer and will be generated different kinds of graphs, reports, all those things, and which will eventually help for organization to have the critical decisions, right? Because nowadays, data and information is very critical for the organizations because they are highly depend on those things. Right, okay. So someone asked me a question. Let me see what it is. So we have to scan code when logged with computer in WhatsApp. Yes, Binadi. Yes, we have to scan the code to log into the computers, right? Okay, people, just confirm me. Is it clear with you how these things are being categorized under the information systems? Right? Is it clear? Do you need any clarifications regarding this? Right. How about others? Right. Okay. So let's take down the things. So we have stopped from here and we are not going to write the entire example, right? So let's just write down the names of the example. So after this diagram, you can say example ATM automatic teller machine, ATM and put a dash, or like you say automatic teller machine and have the ATM word within brackets, right? So that is a first example. And the second example, fingerprint reader to record the attendance of an organization. Just the example, right? You are not going to draw any diagrams, right? So likewise, we are going to write down all four examples. So first copy these two, just the example, right? Example, ATM automatic teller machine, that's all. And the example two, fingerprint reader to record the attendance of the organization, right? That's all. Right, I'm going to scroll the page after a little while. So just copy this down for the moment. Right, I'm moving forward. QR code used to find information. That will be the third example. And for the fourth one, I'm going to tell you what to be written, right? So just copy the third example. Okay, moving to the fourth one. Write the example, processing business information. Yeah, processing business information. After writing processing business information, write down this particular sentence. Yeah, take down it like this. Relevant data will be fed into a computer. Relevant data will be fed into a computer to process and to generate, to process then to generate, to process, comma, then to generate reports, comma, graphs, comma, presentations, kind of information, full stop, which will be used to take the decisions, Yeah, it's like this. Relevant data will be feed into relevant data will be feed into a computer to be processed then to generate reports, graphs, presentations, kind of information, which will be used to take decisions, Putala, just excuse me for a moment. I'm getting a call from the school because there are many different meetings. Right. Okay, people. So I'm going to continue. So this is what you call the barcode, right? Which is a very popular component or the very popular code which we can see on each and every goods that we are purchasing, like from a supermarket. And they use their particular device called barcode reader to read this kind of a barcode. So by reading it, the computer will grab several different data regarding that particular good, right? So I need you to go through this, right? So like when you are like visiting to a supermarket in next 3-4 days, just see what happens actually. නේද? එතන ඉන්න අයියට හරි අක්කට හරි කතා කරලා කියන්න පොඩ්ඩක් පෙන්වන්න කියලා මේක කරනකොට මොකද වෙන්නේ කියලා මම IT ඉගෙන ගන්න. So I need to know about this, right? Or you can just observe, right? or පොඩ්ඩක් නේද අම්මට හරි තාත්තට හරි බිල් එක දාන්න කියලා ඔයා පොඩ්ඩක් පිටිපස්සට ඇවිල්ලා බැලුවොත් ඔයාලට තිරේ වෙන දේ බලා ගන්න පුළුවන්. When they scan the barcode, you can see several different information or some data are like displayed on the screen, right? See what are those, right? So barcodes are very frequently used, right? Inside these kind of goods and all these components to recognize or to give the idea about what this good is, right? Right. So moving forward, then we are going to talk about the qualities of this information, right? Now, when it comes to the qualities of the information, these factors will define whether it is a quality information or not, right? So like in other terms, we are talking about the qualities, and it will define in the other way whether that information is a quality one or not. And it has many different characteristics when it comes to the quality of information. There are many different qualities, but these are some of the major qualities of the information. The first one is about the relevancy. Now look at the example. It says it is not needed to submit all the academic information which is not relevant from grade 1 to onwards when the requirement is to submit only the highest educational qualification. Like when you are facing to an interview, right? If they ask for the highest educational qualification, you only need to present the highest educational qualification. Now, if someone asks from me, I'm giving my first degree as the highest educational qualification, and no one will ask are you through with the A levels, or are you through with the O levels? Because I am having my first degree because I am already through with my O levels and A levels. So those are not relevant, but my first degree qualification, or the details of my first degree is the relevant part. So it will clarify that this person is through with O levels and A levels and all the relevant exams that he needs, right? So likewise, when an information is provided, it should have this relevancy. Right now, if you take it to yourself, ඔගලගේ පැත්තට දාලා හිතුවොත් මේ moment එකේ ඔගලන්ට තියෙන highest qualification එක මොකද්ද? Those are, it's a marks that you have gained through the term test in the grade 9 නේද? එතකොට ඔයා grade 10 වලට එනකොට ඔයාගේ highest qualification කියලා ඇහුවොත් you are going to show the marks which you have gathered in grade 9. You don't need to show the marks from grade 1 to 8, right? So likewise, right? So the relevancy matters. It defines that whether this is a quality information or not, right? And the other quality, the completeness. Now think about your term test marks. Now if you trying to have the idea about your the weaker points or the strong points, or the weaker subjects or the strong subjects, you should have the complete set of marks regarding yourself. Like but ICT wala marks නැතුව you can't figure out whether you are good in ICT or not, right? So it is the fact that defines or that clarifies whether you are good in ICT or not, right? And again, if you need to have the total marks that you scored in the term test, you should have all the marks for subjects, right? Not just by four, like marks for four subjects won't give you the total marks that you need, or the clarification that you need. Like having just 4 marks for 4 subjects, you can't recognize, or you can't calculate the average. To calculate the average, you should have the complete set of marks for all the subjects, right? So the information should be complete, right? And the accuracy. Now they have given a very nice example there, right? They have said, if a doctor gets wrong information about the patient's health, it could be harmful for the patient, right? ඒකයි අපි කියන්නේ දොස්තරටයි නේද නඩුකාරයටයි බොරු කියන්න බෑ කියලා, right? You have to tell exactly. බඩ රිදෙනවා නම් බඩ රිදෙනවා කියන්න ඕන. Like බඩ රිදෙනකොට පපුව රිදෙනවා කිව්වොත් he will give the medicine for the chest pain, right? Which may increase your stomach ache, right? So likewise, it should be accurate. Now think about the example that we are talking. Then ඔයාගේ ICT වලට තියෙන marks. Now think about that you have scored 82 for your ICT term test paper, but by mistake it is been represented as 28, which will, like what, definitely your marks will be gone upside down when things are gone like that. So it should be accurate. The information should be accurate to be a quality one, right? And the timeliness, which matters, right? Because when before you faced your O-level examination, your marks for the 3rd term test will be given from your school to recognize what are the weaknesses that you have. So you have the study period or the study leaves to get okay with those weaknesses, right? But in case if you are provided with the 3rd term test marks after the O-level examination, which is not relevant for you and which is not a very timeliness one, because you should have the term test marks before the O-level examination to get use of those things, right? So it should be timeliness. කලට වෙලාවට එන්න ඕනේ, and it should be a updated one, right? And finally, the cost effectiveness. Now this cost effectiveness is not very much into your area, like schooling area වලට අදාළව අපිට කතා කරන්න අමාරු, it always refers to the organization. Excuse me. So organization spends lots of money regarding the information, and the purpose of spending that to have higher profits. So comparatively, the spend regarding on the information should be like comparatively lesser, which will make the effectiveness. Like information, let's say you are spending 100 rupees to have a profit of a 200 or 300. Right? Comparatively, වැය කරන මුදල අඩු වෙන්න ඕනේ, and it should be an effective one. If you spend on information which is not give the effectiveness to your organization, it will just be a spend, or it will just be a loss, right? So those are the qualities of the information that we need to talk about. So I want you to write this down, not the entire thing, but just the facts, right? So write down the heading, quality of information, and just write down the facts only. That means relevancy, completeness, accuracy, timeliness, and cost effectiveness. You don't need to go through the examples, right? Excuse me. Let me know when you are done, people. Don't write the examples, right? But you have to go through the examples, right? And I think I have sent you the books, and I'll send you the WhatsApp group links as well by this weekend, right? So we can have a WhatsApp group and we can share the things using that WhatsApp group, right? Okay. So after this topic, we have to talk about the application of ICT, which we are going to discuss in next week, right? So far, is it clear, people? Just give me a confirmation. Do you have any suggestions regarding the teaching method? They can සිංහලෙන් තව කියන්න ඕනේද, මේ යන විදිය හොඳයිද, clearද? Just give me a feedback. Right, so if it is clear for you, then we can go on like this, right? That doesn't matter, right? Okay, so I hope you can understand what I'm saying. So since again now ඔගොල්ලෝ English medium ඉන්න නිසාම මම කියන්නේ ඔයගලන්ට තියෙන ප්‍රශ්න ඕනම language එකකින් මගෙන් අහන්න, clear කරගන්න. If you are not clear with anything, just ask it again and again, right? So clear කරගන්න. මම මේක මෙහෙම කරන්න හේතු වෙන්නේ ඒක ඔයගලන්ට වාසි. ඒක හොඳයි ඔයගලන්ට එහෙම ඇහෙන්න හම්බෙන එක. ඒතර ඔයගලන්ට ලියන කියන දේවල් වල හැම දෙයකටම ඔයගලන්ගේ මොලේට යන්නේ ඉංග්‍රීසි වලින් කියන ටිකනේ, right? ඒතර ඔයගලන්ට ලේසි දෙයක් ලියා ගන්න. ඒ නිසා මම මේක separate අරගන්න හිතුවේ. So we are going to continue onto the very same time until we are having the online sessions. Excuse me. Then after the classes will be there on for the physical times. So I think we have to do some more classes in online according to the current situation in the country. So we'll carry it like this, right? So you can last වෙලා ඉන්න හරියට align වෙලා ඉන්න නේද? අලුතෙන් පටන් ගත්ත අවුරුද්ද. Let's make it a better one, right? So people, I'm going to put the recordings to the website by tonight, so you can refer if you want, right? And yes, Binadi, I'm not getting what you're saying. So oral paper එක තියෙන්නේ English medium the. Can you please tell in difficult English word means in Sinhala? Yes, yes. Yeah, I'm sure, Binadi. If you are getting something difficult, just let me ask, right? මම කතා කරගෙන යනකොට අහුවෙන මොනවා හරි clear නැත්නම් කියවනකොට අහුවෙන තැනක් තිබුණොත් clear කරගන්න, just ask it from me, right? සමහර වෙලාවට මේ meaning එක මට mean වෙන්නේ නැති වෙන්න පුළුවන්, so I will find it and tell it to you. So like most of the things I can clarify it to you, right? So just ask, right? You are always welcome to ask questions. That's something I need for you people to do, right? So people, so thank you very much for this session today. So we are going to continue the session by next Friday as well, right? So we'll meet up and have a very happy new year and be safe, right? I'm going to meet you by next week, and when we are meeting next week, remember me to show you the paper, right? All paper එක මොන වගේද කියලා මම පොඩ්ඩක් පෙන්නන්නම්, right? Remember me to show it, right? So I'll show you how the things are going to happen in the future, right? Okay people, so have a good night. I'm going to end the session from here. Thanks for coming, right? Keep it up, right? Thank you very much, and yes, happy new year for everyone, right? Okay, have a good night. Bye bye.